before humankind counted the days, before the first dawn was given a name, messages were already traveling from what you now call tomorrow. They were not carved in stone or written on scrolls, but woven into the unseen fabric of sound, waiting for a heart like yours to be ready to hear them. And now, in this sacred instant, you stand before a threshold that opens not with keys, but with your own vibration. But listen well. Once your eyes see beyond that veil, you will never again perceive reality in the same way. Subscribe, not because this is just another place, but because here we do not deliver words. Here we kindle ancient fires. This is a realm where science bows to mystery, where the voices of your ancestors intertwine with the echo of your becoming self, guiding you together toward the awakening that has always been written into your spirit. And what if the future has already happened, but you have forgotten? Consider, even for a moment, that there is a version of you, wiser, brighter, eternal, walking upon another path of time. Not as a distant dream, but as a living pulse vibrating right now in another sphere of the sacred field. And if that version could whisper to you, would you have the courage to listen? What you hear now is not an ordinary tale. It is a message flowing from a place where time has ceased to be a line, where consciousness has broken free from the dense walls of matter, and where knowledge is not learned, but remembered. Today, we step into the land where the ancestral and the unseen merge, the quantum awakening. A revelation born not from forgotten codices or distant machines, but from the unshakable core of your essence. Here, consciousness does not merely behold the universe, it weaves it. The message that arrives from what you call the future does not thunder with heavenly choirs nor descend in ships of light. It comes as a deep murmur, a subtle note that vibrates within your chest and tells you, awaken. You are not what you believe yourself to be. You did not come here to learn, but to remember. You did not come to survive, but to collapse realities. Quantum physics now whispers what the ancients always knew. Particles existing in many places at once, observers bending reality with the mere weight of their attention, parallel worlds flowing side by side like overlapping waves. And in this mystery, the wisdom of the elders smiles, for it was never a secret to them. We will journey to civilizations where time was not measured in hours, but in cycles of awareness, where it was understood that we are not bodies that think, but thoughts that have taken body. From the mystery schools of ancient Egypt to the Vedic mantras, from the mystic Kabbalah to the shamans who remember the future, all left behind signs for this very moment. In the Corpus Hermeticum it was said, as above, so below, as within, so without. It was not mere poetry, it was quantum code. Plato spoke of the realm of ideas. The alchemists called it the anima mundi. Tibetan Buddhism taught that time is but a trick of perception. Everything converges here and now. Modern science and ancient knowing point toward the same revelation. Consciousness is the key. Vibration is the language. The universe is your mirror. Thus, the quantum awakening is not a trend, not a passing wave. It is the echo of a seed planted thousands of years ago, now blooming within you. If you are hearing these words, it is not by chance. It is your future self, calling you home. To begin decoding the message sent from your own tomorrow, you must first enter the meaning of living with quantum awareness. This is not about academic formulas or experiments confined to sterile laboratories. It is a living, breathing experience. The unshakable knowing that reality is not rigid, but moldable, and you are the artisan shaping it. Quantum physics reveals that, in its purest essence, matter does not exist as something solid. What you call things, a mountain, a star, a thought, are in truth fields of probability, vibrating, waiting to be activated by the gaze of an observer. Technically, this is the collapse of the wave function. But beyond the theory lies the truth that matters most. You are not a passive witness to the universe, you are its co-creator. Every thought you hold with strength, every emotion you sustain with intensity, emits a frequency. That vibration reaches into the universal field, linking with patterns of possibility and drawing toward you experiences, people, and moments resonating with that same energy. Reality is a quantum mirror. It does not reflect your body or your words, but the state of your inner world. If you vibrate in fear, the mirror collapses into realities that prove your fear. If you vibrate in certainty, paths open. If you radiate gratitude, you step into timelines where abundance already exists. This is the key your future selves want you to remember. You are not trapped inside a story written by others. You are the writer, the director, and the main character. But this power is not awakened by hollow affirmations or shallow desires. It requires the alignment of what you think, what you feel, and what you do. This energetic coherence is what expands and amplifies your vibrational field. Picture your consciousness as a beam of light in a dark theater. Reality is that theater full of countless stages. You will only inhabit the stage you illuminate, and the color of that light is your vibration. And here lies the bridge to the message from the future. Your most evolved versions, those who have already learned to navigate the universe as conscious architects, are sending you signals through the very quantum field you shape with your present vibration. They do not speak in plain sentences, but through sudden intuition, revealing dreams, mysterious symbols, and synchronicities that seem like coincidence, but are not. The problem is that these signals cannot reach you if your frequency is clouded by emotional noise, unconscious thoughts, or inner contradictions. Only in stillness, in fine-tuned resonance, can the message cross. The quantum awakening, then, is not a sudden flash of mystical light. It is like tuning an ancient radio, until, between the static, you hear the voice. Do not seek outside. I am no stranger. I am you, from the other side of time. And if you have made it here, it is no accident. What you are about to remember is not a mere spiritual theory, but a truth your soul safeguarded for this exact moment. The future already exists. The past as well. And all the versions of your present are waiting for you to choose which one to live. So ask yourself, are you tuned to the right frequency to receive the signal? Subscribe to this channel now, for this is not a place to consume passively, but to awaken actively. Every video is a key, every word a vibration, every idea a doorway to your future self. If something inside you resonated while hearing this, it is because your future consciousness is already knocking. And here, in this moment, it is time to open. The message does not arrive as recorded phrases or obvious speeches. It comes as flashes of intuition, impossible coincidences, dreams more vivid than waking life, or inner nudges that arise not from the ego, but from a higher place. Sometimes it appears as a coincidence that defies all probability. Other times as an apparent loss that is, in truth, a course correction toward your true center. This is why living in vibrational alignment is so crucial. Every emotion you choose to sustain, every belief you feed, and every decision you make are codes that open or close corridors within the quantum field. These corridors are pathways linking you to specific realities, to particular versions of your destiny. Some call it the multiverse, but in the language of the soul, it is more precise to speak of the vibrational architecture of destiny. Your life is not a single story, but a spectrum of parallel narratives, and your frequency determines which one you are experiencing right now. The astonishing truth is that your future self does more than observe you. It draws sustenance from you. A sacred reciprocity exists. The choices you make today shape who that being can become. When you choose fear, you weaken it. When you choose love, you expand it. You are sculpting your future. And, at the same time, your future is shaping your present. It may seem enigmatic, but this is the essence of the quantum field, a space where cause and effect are circular, not linear, where the present reshapes the past and the future simultaneously. That is why when the message says, healing the present rewrites the past and expands the future, it is not metaphor, it is a vibrational instruction. Think. Have you ever made a decision that seemed guided by something unseen? Felt a gentle yet insistent force nudging you toward a path you had not planned? That voice was not a stranger. It was yourself, already awakened. Some call this process reconnection, remembering your mission, or aligning with the higher self. Beyond the names, the truth is that when you attune to your original frequency, everything begins to fall into place. The right people appear. Obstacles reveal themselves as purposeful tests. Reality transforms into a living mirror, a constant messenger. And, above all, a certainty begins to rise within you, not from the mind, but from your vibration. I am exactly where I am meant to be. I am not learning something new. I am remembering what I have always known. For quantum awakening is not a discovery. It is a return to the purest version of yourself, the self you were before you forgot who you truly were. After receiving these revelations, the great question arises. How does one live each day as a being who knows it is pure consciousness, not merely matter? How can you maintain that clarity amid the noise, stress, old beliefs, and demands of the world? The first key: embrace your power as sacred responsibility. Most still live under the mechanical illusion of cause and effect. If something happens, I react. If all flows, I am grateful. If it collapses, I blame. But you can no longer live this way. You know that your thoughts and emotions are antennas that shape the matter around you. To live as a conscious collapser is to understand that every thought vibrates, and you cannot summon peace while vibrating in judgment, nor attract abundance while vibrating in lack. This is not forced positivity, but true internal alignment. The second key: cultivate inner silence. The future does not shout, it whispers. That message we have spoken of does not come from outside. It slips into the spaces between thoughts, between breaths, in the moment the mind quiets and the soul speaks. Meditating, contemplating, or simply being present. These are portals through which the signals of your eternal consciousness flow. The third key: remember that your mission is not to do, but to be. In a society obsessed with productivity, we were taught that our worth lies in achievement. Yet from the quantum perspective, authentic action can only arise from being. You did not come merely to complete tasks. You came to embody a frequency, to anchor a vibration within the fabric of the universe. And if these words have stirred something within you, if you sense that this is not mere information, but an echo calling from deep within, then subscribe to this channel. Here, every video is a reminder, every word a portal, every idea a key to open the dialogue with your future self. Subscribing is not simply following a channel. It is declaring to your consciousness, I am ready to listen, to remember, and to co-create my destiny. You came to anchor a frequency unlike any other, a vibration only you can emit. When this resonance remains steady and coherent, it ripples through the collective fabric. This means that even if you do not write a book, lead an organization, or see your name on any list, if you live in love, clarity, and expansion, you are fulfilling an essential role in the cosmic web. The fourth key: healing is the act of raising your frequency. Wounds are not failures. They are fragments of your energy trapped in denser realms. Forgiveness is not a moral gesture. It is an energetic liberation. Each time you release resentment, you do more than heal yourself. You free a timeline that no longer serves your journey. The message from the future speaks clearly. Healing the present rewrites the past and expands the future. This is not spiritual metaphor. It is the soul's authentic quantum engineering. And here lies the final key. Love is not merely a feeling, it is a primordial vibration. In the language of the universe, there are no letters or thoughts, only frequency. Pure love is the highest note in the field, the original matrix from which all else emerges. When you choose to love without attachment, from consciousness itself, you become an active node of collective evolution. Living these keys is not easy. It demands courage, presence, and deep compassion. But those who remember they are incarnated consciousness cease resisting life and begin to dance with it. This is true quantum awakening. Not fleeing the world, but transforming it from within, as a messenger of the future walking among those who still sleep. And so, we arrive at the end of this journey, which is only a beginning. What you have just heard, These images, symbols, and visions are not mystical theories or metaphysical fantasies. They are keys. If even one resonated within you, it was no accident. It is a signal that you are already tuning to a higher version of yourself, one that calls from a point in time where your awakening is already realized. Choose to love without attachment. From consciousness itself, you become an active node of collective evolution. Living these keys is not easy. It demands courage, presence, and deep compassion. But those who remember they are incarnated consciousness cease resisting life and begin to dance with it. This is true quantum awakening, not fleeing the world, but transforming it from within, as a messenger of the future walking among those who still sleep. And so, we arrive at the end of this journey, which is only a beginning. What you have just heard, these images, symbols, and visions, are not mystical theories or metaphysical fantasies. They are keys. If even one resonated within you, it was no accident. It is a signal that you are already tuning to a higher version of yourself, one that calls from a point in time where your awakening is already realized. The message from the future is not an external prophecy. It is an internal memory activating. If anything in you stirred, thrilled, or even felt uncomfortable, it is because your soul recognized its own reflection in this quantum mirror. Awakening is not a thunderclap that changes everything at once. It is like dawn. The light seeps in slowly, but once it arrives, you see with new eyes, hear what was once ignored, and feel what was asleep. Quantum consciousness is not a fleeting state. It is a new way of existing. You stop being a victim of chance and become an architect of possibilities. Walking this path requires understanding that nothing is separate, that every moment holds infinite potentials, and that with your attention, you decide which becomes real. Yet with this power comes responsibility. You can no longer ignore that every thought, word, and gesture alters your field and the fields of those around you. This is not cause for fear. It is a sacred reminder. If your vibration creates realities, then your life is an ongoing act of magic. You need no temples to touch the divine. The temple is you. You require no external signs to know the path. The path reveals itself as you vibrate in coherence with your purpose. And if you wonder what that purpose is, do not search in titles or future achievements. Your purpose is to be fully yourself. Not the self molded by wounds or inherited beliefs, but the self that remembers itself as eternal, infinite, and radiant. That self already exists in the future, whispering to you, "You are not lost. You are not alone." Everything, the chaos, the search, the pain, and the beauty, is part of a greater dance that you yourself are composing. Whenever doubt rises, pause, breathe, feel, close your eyes and listen. For awakening is not about reaching a new place. It is coming home. And if these words have sparked something within you, do not let that ember fade. Subscribe to this channel to continue receiving these keys of consciousness, reminders that do not come from the outside, but from the deepest chambers of your own being. Each new message will be another door opening to your future self, and each time you return here, you will remember who you truly are. What you have heard is not merely a speech, it is a call. Not an external call, but the voice of your own soul reminding you that you are more than you believe, that your light is needed, that your vibration sustains worlds. Do not let this awakening be swallowed by routine. Stay close, subscribe, and continue walking with me on this journey, where every word is a bridge to the future that already belongs to you.